You already know. It's your boy Professor P back in his bitch doing a weekend analysis. Trying to get active, trying to get active, trying to get active. Market open up about 3 hours on me looking to get active potentially during the Asian session. Trading AUD USD this evening on let me see girl. Gonna cover that link. We're gonna just rock it off in the trade. Open the group for the group is. No, I'm just kidding. That's crazy. I got group, got group is. We got some people in it. That group. But not looking at AUD USD last week, we had some pretty good setups, pretty good analysis, pretty good outcomes. Coming into this week, starting off on a weekly time frame, simply because it is a new week. Last week's price action closed bullish. 2 weeks ago, price action closed bullish. Last week, price action closed a rejecting bearish candle from some type of activity potentially looking left. Coming from this weekly time frame, what I would like to do is see how price action and these candles are producing, and then start to try to build a scenario to potentially take the best trade setup and analysis for AU. But for this video, I am giving up setups and ideas for a few different pairs over here to the side. But AU is my main pair, so we'll bust them down first, and then we'll go through Bitcoin, UJ, GJ, GU, a little bit of gold, and kind of glance over into the USD. But so looking at AU first, weekly time frame. 2 weeks ago, candle closed bullish. Last week's candle closed rejecting bearishly, in my point of view. And what we can see here is down on the lower time frame, or the daily time frame, not lower time frame. Daily time frame is still overall still bearish. Currently retracing on the daily time frame. On the lower time frame, it's probably 1H, 4H. Will be bullish price action. And the way I see it is, we have got a lower high, simply because this price action area is lower than this high right over here, pushing down and creating new lows. So for me, I'll identify this area and that area. And once you bring back the analysis, you can kind of see that. I've already gone through and outlined the pairs, what I think is going to happen, and set up what I'm looking for. But for the new people or anybody else watching, I just want to go through AU really quick to kind of identify how I align my zones in my areas and see where I'm potentially getting active from. And that way you kind of have some insight of how I got to the analysis of on the other charts or the other pairs that I'll analyze and break down as well. So daily highs, daily lows identified, bump down to the 4H. Identifying price action is bearish weekly, and daily. As far as trend, structure on the lower time frames, 4H, 1H are building up bullishly. So blended chart, as you can see, highs and lows, lower highs and lower lows, all the way down to this point. Down the 1H time frame, you can see this is a area within the market that created this low area here. Price action pulled back, came down. I think if we were going to continue bearish at this point, this is where we would continue to break lows and continue the structure to the downside. But on the 4H, 1H lower time frames, price action shifted and gave you a higher low and pushed into the highs. Filling this week, and on the lower time frames closing above that area. So potentially, as AU open up this week, what I'm going to be expecting is a retracement. If we shift structure on the 1H, I'll look for a deeper retracement. But if we don't shift structure on the 1H at price action open, potentially grab liquidity from above here and then retrace to a 1H structure and then push higher. But if price action comes down and start closing below levels like this one right here, then potentially could resume back its bullish or bearish trend that you see from the higher time frames. So on 4H, bring back the analysis, refresh the screen so you can drag them over and see what's going on. This is the high from the daily, low from the daily. And what we can see on the 4H chart is price action created a high zone right here, retrace a small bit, and then push higher, creating a higher than this area here. We brought down to the 1H. What we identify here is the most recent resistance, 1H time frame. Not really important at this time because it's in the same exact area as that 4H area that pushed us into the lows that created the high and the low. So we fell in the range and now potentially closing above, which could potentially shift the or continue the trend. If it does, continue the trend to retest the daily highs. So that's what a potential bullish outcome could look like for on what is it, AU, or it could potentially come from down here and back into the zone like that. So potential ways I'll be looking for price action to get active. See, yeah, on AU. If we get some type of price action like this here, where we start to come down and break these equal lows here, and then start closing below this level and respecting that level, then potentially we could have a setup into the lows for shorts that same way. So that'll be another thing I'll be looking into or looking out for. But overall, on lower time frames, price action is bullish. So I'll be expecting this with an idea of this right here potentially happening in the background. Hold on 1 second. All right, cool. Yeah, they will check on, but overall on AU, excuse me, excuse me. On AU is in a bit of a pickle, risky situation. So overall, kind of want to wait for this to break out either to the top side and continue bullishly, or get some retracement and collect some buys from um above here. What you looking for? Yeah. So switching over to Bitcoin. Oh man, I had a great setup on Bitcoin and got folded. So what I had was, let me hit this bar replay real quick. Oh well, no, weekend analysis. We won't bar replay it. But what I had was price action was bullish within this trend, this channel. I mean, we created a high, pulled back, and only we didn't close so strongly above that high on the higher time frames. So what I saw was, let's refresh all this and pull it back. What I saw was price action came down to the area that price action reacted from before. Um, it created this high. It came back to that level, and I was looking for the reaction from that level, and I got the one that I wanted to see to take shorts. Um, Came down bearishly, reacted bullishly here, created a resistance, and then pulled back, and then retested that resistance. I think I was in from down here as I tried to get in as we broke broke the low of this candle, but as you can see, that was where the entry got me with the spread and everything else. We pulled back, we dropped some more. I did identify this level as if we're going to go back bullish, potentially we need to see price action pull into this level, then push up and continue to break structure bullishly. Right here, it did not. I was in before it actually confirmed it did not. So once I saw this right here, I trailed the stops right above that high. And once we came down here, because of the way this candle, watching it in live time, is going back and forth, see on the 5-minute chart if it kind of it was just pulling back. It didn't look like it was going to have a real strong close. So I closed 30% and then it started to retrace and I let the rest run and I got trailed out right up here and then it melted a little bit more. And now this is what price action currently is. Overall, I'm not looking for, or I wasn't looking for a full trend reversal short on this. It was more or less a retracement trade back down to the 1 hour support before price action um, resumes back bullish. Overall, I had this trade identified, like I said, was targeting this 4H high, got trailed out back down here, looking for price action to resume and overall smash them targets. So we'll potentially see if price action comes back down here and gives a bullish setup and potentially right back into the highs. On UJ, click over to UJ. UJ is bullish, 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 big bullish. Overall, big bullish. Simply price action says to wait for the retracement. Big bullish price action right here. Looking for a retracement back into this zone here around 137.865. 50% field level around 137.865. So waiting to see how price action reacts from here. If it pulls back into this area, give you potential a buy setup. Potentially right back into the highs. And if it continues higher, then there you go, buddy. You get your Scooby-Doo. Switching over to GJ. GJ higher time frame is currently bullish, pushing into 4H structure. Current price action. If retraces looking for long, looking long from the bottom. So want to see how price action reacts once it gets back to this zone. So potentially coming to the Asian session. Knowing what I know about the Asian session, potentially could get a liquidity grab above this level and potentially go short from there. Or if you just want to simply trade the trend until price action trades the trend for you, yeah, if you can get a break and retest above this area, particularly have buys, it's a pretty short range. It'll be, I would have to see how the price action sets up to actually show where I would think the best area to get in to take continuation buys back into the level. But overall, knowing where we just pushed into back in over here, we overall did not shift the structure coming back to the downside. So potentially we could break through this level pretty easily and then potentially go here or target way back up to the top side. And this is on GJ. So yeah. We want to see how price action opens up during this Asian session. Potentially show us which way it's about to go for the week. Pushing over to GU. GU overall is bearish from higher time frame. I think we're currently reacting from the higher time frame. I got a level. Weekly reaction. Go back and refresh. Did we tap into that zone? Oh no, that's the target. Probably to the target. Yeah. Weekly level right down here in the white. Daily bearish, 4H bearish overall. Continues to making lower lows, lower highs. Kind of got a prediction outline where I think price action is going to go. I want to see how price action reacts first here at this level, 1.188801. Potentially, if it short changes or gives a price action pattern or a candlestick pattern in this area right here to go short, then potentially could act up on some shorts from that level. If not, then we're potentially looking for a retracement back into this 4 hour high and then make a determination from that level. Yeah, GU got faked out last week. Well, not really a fake out. I was just looking for a deeper retracement and it didn't happen. So I completely pulled away from the chart. So this week, coming from the weekend analysis, very choppy price action. The only real clear bias you really ultimately had was price action opened up the week bearishly. It gave you a great retracement, then dropped bearishly again. But overall, the only thing you really have to stand on is this. If this level don't hold up, then we're coming back here. So potentially continuation buys above this 1H level, but it'll be very choppy and it's scalp game would definitely probably be the best. Get in and get out just because, just looking at past price action, we pushed up, pulled back, trying to create new highs. You had to go through this whole roller coaster of price action just melting. So imagine if, price pulled back and you were waiting for it here. And as soon as it broke this candle's high, you were in there. And then, you got targets back up in here. But once you got to here, price just melted and passed your entry, potentially even stopping you out. And then potentially went exactly where you thought it was going. So, yeah. I wouldn't want to ride through that because I'd be very, very, very frustrated knowing that, this was a valid entry. Price action continued to push bullish. Looked like some news popped off right here. So you'd have had to, you would have had to correlate that with your news, you know, but that's definitely what that looks like. But overall, yeah, potentially choppy ride to the top side and choppy ride to the downside. So just want to see how this sets up around this level and to the downside at this level with these equal lows right down here. Price action generally likes to swoosh right through those, kind of like you got right here. Equal lows on a bigger scale right here on a higher time frame, you know, breaks right through those levels, those equal lows from lower time frame perspective. But yeah, so we're looking for that on GU, pushing over the gold, overall consolidating towards the end of the week. Currently consolidating, waiting to see how price action breaks out of the zone. Price action on the higher time frames are bearish. Price action has not shifted structure on the 1H, so ultimately could be looking for shorts from this area back to retest these lows until we see a shift of structure on the 1H. So until we see it close above here and stay above, then potentially we'll be looking for buys back into 4-hour resistance. So yeah, I don't really trade gold, but that's how I would look at it. It hasn't closed above the most recent resistance on the 1 hour. We came to that level, shorted off again, touched that level again, shorted off. So potentially if we make it back there again, potentially could short off again, back into the 4-hour support. And then if you got some gas, you can push down into this monthly support. But to the downside, looks pretty risky. Monthly support, daily support, 4A support, 1A support, all in the same location. So this level could potentially be pretty strong. So if you get this type of price action right over here, gas above here, you get a solid retest within that level, potentially could retest those highs. Coincide that with your news, coincide that with your own chart analysis and how you get active gold. I don't trade gold. That's just the way I see it. NZD, USD overall. I don't know if I analyzed this or marked it up. I did not. So yeah, overall, lower time frames are bullish, pushing into higher time frame trend confluences. So definitely want to see how price action gets back up and out of this zone. If you start breaking lows based off 4-hour chart lows around 61,400, that potentially could be pulling back to continue bearishly, and then go above 61, probably about 61,700, potentially going back to retest some highs. So that's pretty much all I got up out of this one. BTC, let's click back over that one because I was still active in that one, but I got trailed out. Let's see how it's. Oh, it's about to drop again. Oh, my stomach. Oh man, look at him. Look at him. And then I did have this pulled out over in the group chat, hollering at everybody saying, this is why I got trailed out. Funky. Let's see, we got the start of the trade. Yep, right over here, BTC shorts. Yeah, closed off 30% right after I closed this because I identified on this chart that we did push into this low here and then started to reject. So that's what I was seeing on my live feed from my broker, and I closed off 30% right down there. Then the rest got tagged right up there, and then now it's melting, and then close by there, and it's like it's going to continue to push through structure to the downside. So it is what it is. Once it comes back down here, we'll look for this opportunity again, and that's what it is. That's pretty much all I got for this one. You got any questions? I'll let you boy like, subscribe. I'm out of that thing. Peace.